was a dancer, she was a dancer. I was ambitious, she was ambitious. I was a workaholic, she was a workaholic. At first, all of those things was working in our benefit.
In 1999, Jay Lowe began dating Sean P. Diddy Combs, who was already a powerful figure in the music industry as a producer and rapper. Their high-profile relationship was the talk of the entertainment world, but it was marked by controversy. The most infamous incident took place on December 27, 1999, when the couple was involved in a nightclub shooting in New York City. At Club New York, gunfire erupted after a confrontation involving Diddy and his entourage. Diddy and Jay Lowe were both present, and 3 people were injured. Following the shooting, Diddy and Jay Lowe fled the scene in a vehicle, but they were later stopped by police and arrested for gun possession. Jay Lowe was quickly cleared of any wrongdoing, but the incident cast a shadow over their relationship, which ended shortly afterward. The fallout from the nightclub shooting had a significant impact on rapper Shine, who was also part of Diddy's entourage that night.
Then we had this rehearsal where we had to like hold each other like this, you know, we was gonna do some salsa dancing. And then, so I'm holding like this, then I look up and I look into her eyes and I just fell in love from right then and there. It was just like the first time I fell in love, like love at first sight.
He was larger than life, but at first I didn't like him at all. You know, I didn't. I thought he was like, you know, ick. I didn't like him because, you know, Sean and I were very different that way. You know, I was very like family oriented, and that's how I was raised. Once I got to know him, and you know, we became friends first, and then we developed this bond. We both understood where we were at that time in our lives, and we both knew nobody else understood exactly how we felt. So in that way, we kind of bonded.
When Jennifer's marriage came to an end in 1998, they were finally able to embark on the romance they had been resisting.
Things started to happen. I started looking into her eyes more, spending more time with her, and I just fell in love with her.
To have somebody who's by your side who understands what you're going through, and at the end of the day doesn't need anything from you except to love you.
She was one of the nicest, most beautiful people that I had met, you know.
Even if you were broke, my love don't cost a thing.
Shine, real name Jamal Barrow, was charged with attempted murder, assault, and reckless endangerment for his role in the shooting. In 2001, Shine was convicted and sentenced to 10 years in prison. He served almost 9 years before being released in 2009.
Devastating journey and triumphant journey. And so this is part of the triumph right here.
I want to talk about all the great things that you're doing, but to your point, to get to the great, the bad has to be acknowledged.
Absolutely.
And I'm with the former bad boy, as the record label. So we're not far from where that night took place. And you've never told the details about it. People want to know what happened that night. I know that you've always said self-defense.
You know, it's so long ago, and it's, to me, more of a blip on my journey to where I was going.
I think your fans in some way believe you were wronged, not just by the legal system, but also by the industry. And you ended up behind bars, and the 2 people who were there with you that night went on to be 2 of the biggest stars in the world. What was that like for you, watching them shine and Shine live in darkness?
You know, I think everything is about timing. And, you know, the opportunity that I have today to impact the world, everything that I've been through is really worth it. Because I'm not just a leader in Belize, but I'm a world leader, because the ideals and the principles that I represent, which is integrity, which is loyalty, which is honesty, you know, having moral turpitude.
You said 2 critical things, loyalty and honesty. I know that you and Puffy are friends now, and he has supported you, but people believe that you went to jail because you were too loyal.
What was your reaction to Tanya when you saw these massive raids at P. Diddy's 2 homes?
First and foremost, thank you for having me. It was very emotional. in short, it was extremely emotional because it was basically it marked 25 years, a quarter of a century since this occurred. And I've had to relive this over and over again, intermittently in that time. So when I saw it, it was very cathartic because I finally felt like justice would be done. Justice would be mine and belong to all of his victims.
Yeah, and you have said since really right after the shooting that it was P. Diddy who shot you. I mean, I think you even said it to the doctor that night, right?
I said it immediately. I literally watched them pull out the guns. I've had a clear point of view. I mean, for God's sake, I got shot in my nose. I was facing them directly. I watched everything occur and have described it, vehemently to all parties involved. I think in our society, we have respectability politics. There are people who want to be adjacent to power or celebrity or money, and there's a hierarchy of respectability. Because his name was more notable, he was believed rather than a victim who gave a first-hand account. By the grace of God, I survived.
Yeah, and this was also a different time. I mean, things were very, very different in 1999. He has denied being the one who pulled the trigger. But this is interesting, Natanya. Rodney Jones, also known as Little Rod, is now suing Diddy for sexual harassment. That's something that's been in the headlines for the last couple of days. And there's a very interesting quote from his lawsuit that relates back to you that I want to read because it sort of ties all of this together. And it says, Jones claims in the lawsuit, Mr. Combs shared that he was responsible for the shooting in the nightclub in New York City with rapper Shine. He shared that artist and Mr. Combs' girlfriend at the time, Jennifer Lopez, aka J-Lo, carried the gun into the club for him and passed him the gun after he got into an altercation with another individual. So now you have Little Rod in this new lawsuit saying that Diddy told him that he actually was responsible.
In recent years, there have been reports that the nightclub shooting case has been reopened, potentially leading to renewed scrutiny of Diddy's involvement. This reopening has sparked renewed interest in the details of the case and Shine's conviction, raising questions about whether new evidence or testimonies could bring different outcomes. The developments around this case are still ongoing, with fans and media closely watching to see how it unfolds. There have been recent rumors circulating that Jennifer Lopez has fled following new developments in the 1999 nightclub shooting case.